People are coming back to their consciousness, sir.
Did you poison the food supply?
Yes, sir. There's no mineral left in the soil.
Are you feeding them negativity on the news?
Yes, sir. War and death.
Social media?
Yes, sir. Gender wars.
Damn.
Racism. It's not enough. They keep coming back. What do we do?
We need to lower their immune systems.
I thought we did that already with the virus, sir. What else can we do?
More poison. We'll put more poison in the crop field.
We used all the
We'll
poison.
poison the animals. And then tell them to eat the animals.
This is why you're our leader, sir. Put the poison in the animals.
Train doctors to not address the cause.
I see where you're going.
But only
the symptom. So
they'll
get treated forever and eventually die.
And we still get the money!
Hello and welcome to another episode of What the Heck Is Even This, where we look around the internet and we see things that make us say, what the heck is even this? Today I'm reporting from a hole in the wall. Did you know there's a place in France where the naked ladies dance and there's a hole in the wall where you could see them all? Well, this isn't that place, but as you can see, it's almost as nice. A hole in the wall is a great place to find mice, cheese, dust bunnies, and a nice pint in the evening without the bothersome crowds. But it's also a great place to find mysterious videos that'll keep you up at night. So without any further ado, grab some cheese and let's dive right in.
What's happening? This is starting to irritate me, you guys. What happened here? Why? What's going on in Hollywood? Why are the men looking like this and the women are aging backwards? It's like they are getting their souls sucked from their body. This is giving me totally weird vibes. Articles are coming out about Bradley Cooper and Gigi Hadid on a date, and I'm like, where's Bradley Cooper? He looks like Zac Efron if Zac Efron was to age naturally. It's totally creeping me out. This guy is not Bradley Cooper. This is the Bradley Cooper I remember. How are we going from this to this? And look at his eyes, guys. They look completely glazed over. It's like there is no emotion behind them whatsoever. And I know a lot of people in my comment section are gonna be like, well, he's 50 years old. He's aging. This is what he looked like in 2024. What happened? Light in the eyes. He looked like himself. And now, not the same. Not the same in the least bit. How does this happen in less than a year? I also noticed that there are variations of Bradley Cooper where he never looks the same, and it made me wonder, does Bradley Cooper have doubles? There was an article that came out with Bradley Cooper stating Bradley Cooper looks unrecognizable with this scruff, and I agree. He doesn't look anything like his original self. But if this is what Bradley Cooper looks like with scruff, then why does he look recognizable with scruff in this picture? But then he doesn't look the same in this picture as he does in this picture. What's happening here? Why is Bradley Cooper looking like a different character everywhere I turn? I'm really trying to find the original. But this is always how I remember Bradley Cooper looking. What in the world happened?
Dude, this is so creepy. He looks like Charlie Sheen. He looks like Robin Williams at one point. He's shape-shifting and forgetting what he actually normally looks like. What is happening? Is it drugs? Is it bad surgery? Is it cloning? I'm open to any ideas if you got them.
Now what this thing does is tell you where electricity is. For example, this wire is dead. There's no electricity because I had the switch off. If I turn the switch on, it now says there's electricity. See how that works? For instance, these wires are hot going to it. Now, cool thing about this is it'll pick up any voltage. Anything between, let's see, this one is actually 50 volts to 1,000 volts, and category 4, 1,000 volts. So, here's the weird thing I'd like to show you. What's up there? I'm not doing anything to it, guys.
You know, I remember they had the old radios and the station wouldn't come in clear, but then you'd touch the antenna with your hand and then it would suddenly become in all clear. Yeah, I'll tell you though, Tesla was telling us that energy is all around us and it's free and accessible. You know, there is a lot more to this life than they want you to understand because this kind of thing, it's not profitable.
Holy
Parents are a pair who rents. Because you don't own your child, you sign them away using a signature. You signed your nature with a sigil. A sigil is a symbol used in witchcraft. You are born into this world, and the word born comes from barren, which means lifeless, dull, and boring. Then you are controlled by the government, the governmentality. They control your mind. Everything physical began as a thought in the thinking mind. The mind is the root cause of reality, so they control your mind, not your body. They do this by broadcasting spells to north, east, west, and south, the news. Then they teach you the vowels in this specific order, A, E, I, O, U, to teach you that you owe them to become a slave. You are weak in the weekdays because you are working. Where you were a king, you are no longer a king if you are working. Then on the weekend, you are weakened from the weekdays. Days is a daze where you are in a state of confusion. The television is used to tell a vision, to program you on the programs. They want you to think slaughter is laughter, hello is hell is low. Words are swords because they mold your mind. They also create three-dimensional sound waves which impacts the fabric of matter. I believe that we were never meant to use words. Language has been manipulated so that we no longer use telepathy because we are all connected on the mental plane. We are surrounded by a sea, a mental ether of thought. We still have telepathic powers which we call intuition.
It's all a setup. It's all right there if you look. I probably shouldn't be showing you any of this, but I think you're old enough. A lot of people are probably wondering where to get this book. Just ask the two people who rent you from the government, and Jeff Bezos will send you a copy.
If a person laughs too much at silly things, deep inside they are lonely. If someone sleeps a lot, it often means that they are sad. If someone talks less, then they are protecting their heart from being hurt. If they cry easy over small things, and they've been holding in pain for quite too long. If a person gets angry too quickly, it means that they care too deeply, but don't know how to show it. If someone avoids eye contact, they're hiding truths or emotions that they don't know how to express. If a person stays busy all the time, it means that they're running from their thoughts. If a person isolates themselves, it's not because they hate people, it's because they don't want to be a burden. If a person always smiles, it means that they are the one who hurts the most at night. If a person loves to help everyone, it means that they know how it feels to suffer alone. If a person forgives too easily, it means that they value peace more than pride. If a person overthinks everything, it means that they've been put in situations where trust has been broken. If a person has mood swings often, it means that they are fighting personal battles that you don't see. If they can't say no, it means they fear losing people. If someone always gives the best advice, it's because they always lived through so much pain. Just keep that in mind.
If a person talks a lot, they have a lot to say. The people who inspire you the most are the people who know what it's like to be uninspired. If somebody isn't sleeping a lot, they probably have a lot on their mind. If somebody drinks a lot, they have a thirst that they are trying to quench. If somebody eats a lot, they are hungry for food or food-like things. If somebody wears a hat every day, they're probably thinking a lot of big thoughts. If somebody frowns a lot, they are someone who constantly holds in their farts and never lets them escape. But in all honesty, he's speaking fact, truth, wisdom. You should listen to this guy.
Here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that you've
Sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and it blows everything down. Yeah. Okay. So here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay. So this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
How is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, and the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh my god!
And by the way, okay, we'll do this one. We'll do the loop one more time here. Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. It just showed up.
Oh,
okay.
It just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
it wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car come from?
Yeah. No car.
The second is, does it really look like
car?
A real, does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right.
That does look fake.
There's also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
If you watch like making of Star Wars, any of the any movies before CGI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes. Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what the camera's fine.
All right, now this is an interesting one because there's two sides to this. Now, first off, they're not saying that nuclear explosions are fake. They're saying that the videos of the nuclear explosions are fake. Some people are saying the cameras are placed inside steel boxes with lead shielding, positioned or elevated poles, towers, very far away with a zoom lens. Now that, of course, makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't fully dismiss the conspiracy. Now this kind of thing looks similar to what you would see in the Terminator when the nuclear blast came off. It really reminds me of the same kind of thing, the houses falling apart. Now this part with the car that appears out of nowhere, now that just seems kinda... I mean, that one's obviously a fake one. We can agree that this one's a fake one, right? Now, special cameras housed in extremely protective cases totally makes sense until you see the indoor shots. Because a zoom lens makes sense until they have these indoor shots. So, of course, this one's clearly up for debate. Is this a conspiracy? Let me know down in the comments.
Oh my god. I think I figured it out. Look. Oh. What do you think? No more buttons? No, just screen. Well, that looks complicated. It's actually really easy to use if you turn your brain on. If you, like, for example, if you want to change the volume, you choose media, and then you click settings, and then you click adjust, and then you tap the volume down. You tap the down arrow until the volume goes to what you'd like.
Isn't a volume knob probably easier?
No, people hate buttons. People want big screens that have a lot of full menu options and folders that your parents are gonna really enjoy figuring out.
What happens if the screen breaks?
Then you buy a new car.
Has anybody else noticed that all this innovation is not making our lives any easier? It's actually making it worse. Everybody likes buttons. They're trying to take away our buttons. They're designing this stuff like they hate us. They're taking away your buttons.
A lot of people really don't understand that intelligence can cause madness. Intelligence is not always good. There is 9 different types of intelligence, and one of them is existential intelligence. That shit will drive you crazy if you don't keep it in check. Because some types of intelligence are given from birth, and some you have to earn. If you give an existential intelligence from birth, if you don't keep that shit in check, you're gonna lose your fucking mind. Because existential intelligence is about questioning things. It's about questioning life itself. It's questioning existence itself. And it's not like the average person, they might question a little something every now and then. No, bro, you go so deep, you get lost in your own questions in your own mind. And then when you get answers for some questions, it leads to more questions. Because you know how they say ignorance is bliss? It is. And the conclusion I've come to is the more ignorant you are, the happier you'll be able to be. The more shit you know about life and existence, it's kind of hard to be happy. I'm not saying it like you sad or depressed or something. I'm just saying like you don't experience happiness like most people do.
The real madness that comes with intelligence is when you're seeking validation from others to understand. It can be very frustrating to watch as all the sheep are led astray. There are sheep, there are wolves, and then there are sheepdogs. Which one are you? Alright, I saw this one, and I thought it was kind of important to be able to share with you all. See, this couple had an argument the other day, and then Instagram started sending a bunch of content glamorizing divorce, making it like they'd be better off single, and they eventually realized that the two of them were both getting this content, and they were able to laugh about it. Luckily, these two have the communication enough to talk to each other to say, hey, this has been weird. And they go, well, me too. There's a lot of people out there who are getting played by the system. They don't want us to be together. They want to isolate us. Just keep that in mind, honestly. Once you start seeing it, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. You know, you got to stay mindful, communicate, and try to stick together. They're going to try to rip us apart.
To be honest, I cannot make you the richest person in the world, but I can make you the richest person in the apocalypse. And I can do that by showing you this right here. Now, if you're thinking that just looks like a solar charger and a crappy Android, you're right, but it's not the phone itself that's valuable, it's what's on it. And it's really because of these apps. This one right here allows you to download an offline map of the entire world. This one right here allows you to download all of Wikipedia. And this one's probably the coolest because it allows you to download an offline version of the AI model DeepSeek R1, which means you could ask it, hey, I have 6 car batteries, a bunch of wire, and a solar panel. How do I use them to get electricity? Or whatever. Basically, you have all the tools that you would need to rebuild society from scratch, and you got a little friend to talk to along the way.
I really got to step up my doomsday prepping game. It'd be like a real-life movie. Me and my duck exploring a post-apocalyptic landscape with an AI companion, taking on the responsibility to rebuild the world together. It'd be a box office smash if anybody was alive to watch movies at that point. But in all seriousness, when the bombs go off and it's us versus us, you don't need all this fancy hardware. You just need that Bible your grandma gave you. And bullets. Lots of bullets.
Nobody is ready for this one. This probably looks familiar. It probably looks like these cymatic patterns that I talk about all the fucking. And all these things is a petri dish on top of a speaker.
I tried to tell you.
Nobody is ready for this one. This probably looks familiar. It probably looks like these cymatic patterns that I talk about all the fucking. And all these things is a petri dish on top of a speaker and a light on top of it, making these cool mandala-like patterns. Now this man made one of them in a 3D design software and took cross sections of it and put different colors to those cross sections. So using a 3D cymatic pattern, this man was able to create a perfect image using sound and light. I want you to sit and really think about this, because this is the code to reality. This is the code to the matrix, or whatever you want to call it. This is how energy interacts with itself to create everything that you see. This is why cymatics and sound is so important. Vibration in general. It's all waves.
Everything vibrates. Water is creation. Frequency. Frequency. You know, I'd like to know what 3 frequencies made these 3 images. You know, what light was used. I mean, if we were able to replicate the same image with the same process, then that'd be very interesting. If not, then I'm pretty sure it's just a reverse photography process in which you start with an image like this, and then I'm not saying the concept isn't 100% accurate. I'm just saying is that it's hard to take this as proof without anything else. It's just a fun way to display a concept that's very, very difficult to try to express to the common person. Anyone who takes mushrooms understands.
I want you to keep using AI. Check this out.
Alright, the jig is up. Delete ChatGPT, delete Sora, delete any AI apps you have on your phone. Stop your support now. You need to understand something. Pandora's box is 99% of the way open.
Yep. No going back.
And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the myth, but once it opens, it cannot close. Oh my god, it's so funny. Jake Paul doing game makeup tutorials. They're making child porn.
Cancel AI immediately.
People are making child pornography.
There needs to be laws, y'all, passed ASAP.
That is nigh indistinguishable from reality.
Is this why the elite are pushing it so hard?
You are going to be framed for something you did not do.
Yep. This is the real dark reason why the elite wants you to keep using AI. Check this out.
Alright, the jig is up. Delete ChatGPT, delete Sora, delete any AI apps you have on your phone. Stop your support now. You need to understand something. Pandora's box is 99% of the way open.
Yep. No going back.
And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the myth, but once it opens, it cannot close. Oh my god, it's so funny. Jake Paul doing game makeup tutorials. They're making child porn.
Cancel AI immediately.
People are making child pornography.
There needs to be laws, y'all, passed ASAP.
That is nigh indistinguishable from reality.
Is this why the elite are pushing it so hard?
You are going to be framed for something you did not do.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. We can't stop them from developing it. But what we can do is stop feeding them the money they need to do it.
Yep.
It's over. You want to be a creative? Sorry. That field has been replaced. Computer software, fucking forget it. That's already cooked over and done with. 3D rendering, artist direction, architecture. Do you understand that you are being replaced?
Yep.
You, all of us, are being replaced.
That was the plan.
The functions that make us human are being robbed from us.
That was the plan all along. Stay weird.
It's funny, they don't just want to control your life, your beliefs, your attention, your thoughts. They want to control your consciousness, the very essence of your spirit itself. You better watch out. Though I'm not really sure there's much you can do because people aren't going to stop. They're going to keep pushing it on everybody, but most people are just going to keep eating it.
Here's another one for my comic book fans. Y'all know the story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? I did an old video about this. Y'all know that there are reptilians eating pizza underground. Now, if you know, you know the code word for pizza is for... You know what I mean? So the story's about reptilians eating pizza underground. Now their enemies are Bebop and Rocksteady. What group of people came up with that genre of music? And look at the way they dress. And notice that this group of people is trying to stop these reptilians who eat pizza underground. But they made them goofballs, right? Here's another one. Shredder was training so that they could defend themselves against these reptilians who eat pizza underground. So who really is the bad guy? But hear this one out. Those reptilians who eat pizza underground, their best friend was the media. Their best friend was April O'Neil. And who did April O'Neil work for? Meaning the reptilians who eat pizza underground always have the news coverage to work in their favor. So you gotta ask yourself, who really is the good guy and who really is the bad guy? Notice how they put everything in reverse.
You know, I'll believe this because I have my own theory about Batman, and I'd love to be able to tell it to you one day when I can. Same with Peter Pan. Captain Hook is the good guy. People don't believe me. They call me crazy. But they'll see. One day. They'll see.
Kills me every time I see one of these videos because it is such a perfect example of this kind of mind virus.
So when people say, what are you doing? You say, things that please me, and they say, toward what end? And you say, pleasure. And they say, but really, what are you working on? And you say, having a good time. But what do you hope to accomplish? Being happy? That's what all of existence is about, you see.
All humans navigate meaning in life using these 5 different flavors: survival, conformity, achievement, pleasure, and story. While we need all of these categories, each has the potential to act as a kind of mind virus, which can take over the way you see meaning in everything. Imagine you find yourself in a brand new environment that you don't understand. Immediately, you'll start on a journey of solving specific kinds of problems in a specific order. First, how do I survive? And then, what rules does this environment have? Next, what else is possible? As you start solving these problems, you gain control over your environment. And the very moment that you do that, you will naturally start to ask the question, what do I like best? All the abstract patterns that you have learned and all the different levels in which those patterns have been achieved create an enormously large catalog of possibilities you can explore. As you explore, you will find that you appear to have been born with natural tendencies or interests in many of these. For example, of all the different levels of how a classic hamburger could exist, I'm not a crazy person, but for me personally, something like a level 75 hamburger, that's kind of what hits the spot for me. In some sense, these connections define a large part of what makes you you. And it turns out that it feels good to do the things that you find pleasing. This is often called self-actualization because you are actually trying to do the things yourself likes. You may really like sushi, but are you actually eating as much sushi as you are drawn to? Pleasure is great. It's an amazing part of what can make life fun, and you can and should try to do more of the things that you enjoy. But when people say,
that's what all of existence is about, you see.
No. It's not all of existence. You're still missing out on a whole universe of meaning. If you don't have access to a higher story, pursuing the things that please me can become the highest aim you have. When pleasure becomes your aim, your brain will filter and color everything that you perceive, and all the problems that you see and the solutions that you come up with will all be related to who or what is keeping you from the things that please you. Ironically, a life spent in the pursuit of pleasure is often not pleasant. I use an island in these examples because our own brains are the unknown island that we are born into. As an individual contained within your own body, the goals of self-interest, survival, conformity, achievement, and pleasure are the only options you have access to unless you can learn to find meaning in the things outside of you. All of these categories of meaning give us powerful advantages. We need them all, but each of them can also act as a kind of mind virus. Yes, including story.
You know, if joy is the baseline of your existence, then you're definitely missing out on some of the deeper, more fulfilling things that life has to offer. You know, as I like to say, those who are shaped by pleasure are usually quite unpleasurably shaped.
All right, this one's from my globetards. There's the moon, early in the morning. Why do we see blue behind the moon, first of all? Why is the moon visible in the daytime? Is the other side of the world just not seeing the moon? There's the sun right there. So how do we see only a half moon in the daytime? Why is there blue behind the moon? Is it because of this right here? Is it because that the moon is within the firmament and it's not a solid object and that's why we can't go to the moon? Is that why? That would make sense. Just like all our ancestors told us. Riddle me that. Globetards.
You know, I really don't know why you can see the moon during the day. Other than maybe the sunlight reflects off the earth and bounces off the earth and then reflects off the moon and then it reflects back off. I really don't have any explanation for it. But I don't know what this firmament is. They're talking about it like it's some like space jelly. How does the sky jelly stay in the sky? I understand the moon goes in and out of the sky jelly, but how does the sky jelly stay in the sky? Right?
There is no time.
Okay.
Period. Have you ever been to the past? Or the future?
Thought. Past is thought.
No, you think of the past, but you think of the past now. Have you ever actually been to the place called the past that you think about?
No.
It's not possible. Nobody's ever been there. It's a belief. It's just a belief that we all take for granted. Is it your experience that the now is moving along a line of time from the past to the future? Is the now moving? And how long does the now last?
I don't think I've ever measured it.
It doesn't. It doesn't last. The now doesn't last in time. There is no time for the now to last in. Now is not a moment sandwiched between these two vast spaces. There is no vast space either side of the now. The now is not a moment. These are New Age ideas. They have nothing to do with truth or reality. Now is not a moment. Now is eternity, the ever-present, not the everlasting. But when that now is filtered through the limitations of the mind, it appears as time. The mind is like a prism which refracts the now, which has no dimensions, into a single dimension of time.
You know, a lot of people spend their time replaying the past or fearing what's next. They forget the only place life happens is here and now. You know, when you stop wasting energy on what you can't change, you free yourself to fully experience the present. And that's where peace, healing, and creation begin. You know, I'm pretty sure if you try explaining this to your boss tomorrow, he'll let you go home for the day.
One reason I feel like a lot of people have become very disillusioned in life is because now that we can all talk to each other like this, it feels like we're all realizing we're getting scammed. And I know what you think, well, what do you mean? Like, what's a scam? Just like everything, just like points broadly at everything in life. It's like you go to college and it's like, I mean, that's a pyramid scheme. I know pyramid schemes, that is a pyramid scheme. Okay. And then you go to work and they're just like, okay, not only do I feel like I'm getting scammed here, but I also feel like I'm scamming people. Like now I'm like a part of the scam. And then you turn on the TV and a politician just opens their mouth and you're like, everything you're saying is a scam. You're just a literal walking scam. You go to the doctor, you got to call the insurance, and everything out of their mouth, you're just like, it feels like this is some kind of scheme. Because it is. And it's just like, there's no escaping it. Everything in life is a scam. Even in death, you have somebody die dealing with the funeral home. It's just like, are you scamming my dead grandmother? Like, what is happening? And when that is just what life becomes, like, you literally can't even just open up your phone without somebody being like, buy my course. Like, what is the point? What's the point of all this?
You know, I'd like to include marriage and babies to the list of scams. It might seem a little dark, but they're definitely scams. It's called late-stage capitalism. And it means no worries. And it means we've reached the end of the system. And of course, this apocalypse is brought to you by HelloFresh. Just because everyone's dead doesn't mean you can't eat right. You know, we all should be embracing Amish life and learning how to churn butter because society's going to collapse pretty soon. Anyway, like and subscribe.